last but not least, I've been reading the mess out of Berserk because I finally found somewhere to read it digitally. Berserk is a manga. For anyone who doesn't know, it's so good.
And an anime that ends like right where the manga gets good.
Let me talk about that. First off, let me grab my volumes of Berserk real quick. These are only 2 volumes I have. The rest of the volume, I own 3 volumes digitally, and the rest of it, I've been reading by I shall not tell illegal ways. So I can't afford. I can't afford to, because there's like 40 volumes. I have 13 and 14 right here, and I bought 15, 16, 17, and I think I'm on like volume 25 right now. And I don't have the money to buy all of them. So I was just like, I'm sorry, I gotta finagle.
Oh, wait, how much is each of these?
Each digitally is, actually, let me check. Let me check quickly. Talk about Berserk Amir. I'm gonna check how much it costs. Yeah. So they are $13 each. The price goes down after a certain point to like $8.99. Yeah, they're 12. Most of them are $12.99. Literally, only the 2 recent volumes, volume 39 and 40, are $8.99. So yeah, I don't have the money to buy all of those at the moment. So I had to, finesse. So it's phenomenal. The art, amazing. Let me just run through a random page. I don't know. This manga is great.
Yeah, I've always loved the art of Berserk. I've loved a lot of stuff about Berserk, but like the art has always been maybe one of my favorite things.
Yeah, I want the anime to continue from where 97 left off, because they remade the anime from the beginning in 3D, which is, it's so bad.
I actually didn't think it was that bad.
Let me explain to you. It's horrible, and especially if you read the manga, you know it's horrible, bro.
No, I didn't think it was that bad. Honestly, I didn't.
If you literally sit down, watch an episode, and read the manga, and just look scene by scene, it's just, they did a horrible job at adapting it. Let me tell you about the studio that made it. We're going on a Berserk tangent. I did not plan this at all, but the studio that made it, the anime they worked on before Berserk was a like super high paced chibi anime, super fast paced, I meant to say, chibi anime, and they never worked in 3D before. So that other chibi anime was in 2D, and in terms of tone and animation style, is so vastly different from everything Berserk is. And for whatever reason, this studio got the job. I don't know whose decision this was. I don't know if it was the authors or someone else working with him to get this anime made. But for whatever reason, they thought this studio, who's only worked on super light and fluffy chibi anime, should be the people to make a Berserk anime. Not only that, but they should try to do it in 3D. Well, they decided to try to do it in 3D, despite the fact that they've never worked in 3D a day in their life. And the director never directed a 3D anime. So, some of the team probably had worked in 3D before, but the director definitely had never directed a 3D anime. And it was ridiculous, that choice. That choice was ridiculous. Not only that, but the camera...
You mean to make the anime CG?
Yeah, the camera CG. I mean, the anime CG, which is weird. For specifically for Berserk, it's weird because Berserk is built on its still shots. And if you've watched the 97 anime, the original anime, you'll understand what I'm talking about. There's so many moments.
Oh, yeah, no, I get what you mean. It's impressive in that one. I honestly would binge watch that one 10 times more than I would the newest anime.
Yeah, there's so many moments where they will it'll be in the middle episode, not just the beginning at the end, like some animes have where they do a still shot. Like, they'll go in for an attack, and then it'll do a freeze frame of this super detailed, like, painting of them striking. which is basically just like the manga is. The manga, this dude made a video about how Berserk is. He says that it's unadaptable, but then proceeds to explain in his video how it could be adapted. But essentially, it needs to be adapted in a way that most studios aren't used to animating in today's day and age, which is super, super limited animation. Because nowadays, because technology has gotten so much better, studios are able to make much more fluid animation. They're able to actually have motion a lot of motion in their tons of their episodes, rather than having to keep things as still as possible as many times as they can to save money and save time. They actually have the capabilities of having things move a lot. So they just have to, they need a studio who understands that isn't what Berserk should be. Berserk shouldn't be constantly moving. Berserk is about standing still for long periods of time and just letting the characters talk and just having a beautiful background and like freezing in the middle of battles to show a beautiful shot of like guts cutting someone in half. Like they need to slow down. Berserk isn't the type of anime that should be fast paced. And that showed.
Oh yeah, no, I've noticed that there was a lot of extra movement when it came to the newest anime, and I thought that was just, well, I wouldn't say jarring, just out of.
It's definitely jarring.
Okay, yeah, I'd say it was out of character for the series. But
yeah,
there was just a lot of excess movement for considering the show. I also thought about that for the movies. I consider the movies look amazing, but I have to say there was still a bit of movement there too, where it was like, all right, I needed to slow down a bit, just a little.
They also, it's a matter of censorship, but there are scenes that just don't play out the way they do in the manga because of censorship. Like there's a scene where Guts backhands a soldier, and their face like explodes because he backhands them with his mechanical arm. So he hits them in the face, and like one of his eyes pop out of his face. And his face is his face is showing, but he has like a helmet around the rest of his head, so it's just blood all inside the helmet. And in the anime, it's just his arm swings and hits the dude in the face, and it's 3D, so it's kind of like in real life if you kind of just, I don't know, if you took a bottle and just hit it, like there was no impact, like there was no like his nose like smushing like it would if you punch somebody in the nose. His face kind of just pushed back, and it didn't react in any way. It was weird. But let's get off that Berserk tangent because we got a lot of other stuff to talk about, and I don't want to.
Wouldn't be the Monster Cast without tangents.
We could talk about Berserk another time, but yeah.